Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Library Management System. This is Stock Flowtech, and my name is Emmanuel Meli. In this episode, I will be taking us through on how to use number series. By number series, I mean the way we can just when we create a record in when you create a record, you ensure that that record auto creates its own primary key or any other key. That is, it creates based on the previous number. So if you had created maybe for patrons, maybe you had created patron one, then it creates for you patron two, so that you don't have to type all these field, and that we can still make that field as not editable. So I'm going to create a table, and there's already some work done by Microsoft here on number series. Then I'll just explain in a minute. So for number series and for starter is that it has a code, and then you can give a description of what you want to do, and then you can have a starting number and then ending number. And then for the last use number, it will auto pick from what is there. So for instance, if we need to let patrons auto create the patron list, then we can have a code, and then maybe patron numbers. Yeah, let's say patron numbers. Then we can have a starting number is the number that we wish we don't worry about the dates. We can just go with the starting number, and let's have starting number as patron, maybe PTR 001, and then it will auto increment PTR 002. For the ending number, don't worry about that, it will take care of itself. And so remember, we have not related this number series record, this table, with our patron table right here. So we need a setup table so that we can specify the number series for particular field or particular record. So I'm going to create a new table using our wizard right here. I right click, then new AL, then table. Sorry, yes, right click, then table, then right here let's call it library setup. So we will store our setups in terms of what we need to. Let's have a pk. Let's make it a primary key, just call it a key, which is an integer. It's a setup table, so we don't expect much of work to be done here. So we need patron number, and then right here you can have code of length 50. And then under this field we need to give a property which will relate this field with the table, the number series table. So I'm going to have a table relation, and then our table will be number series. So that table has only one primary key, so it will always pick the code. And then I remember what we gave right here on the number series. We gave a code. If I search, we have patron. Sorry, we have PTRN as our code. So in this table, we'll be able to see this field right here. So I'm going to create a page for the same new page. I'm going to have a library setup, since it's a page. So then right here you can have library setup, but it's okay. Let's go to next, and then you can only pick this. Don't worry about the primary key, it will always take care of itself. So let's expose this one, and setups under the role center. Where was we had a role center? Yeah, it's right here. And then I'm going to put it in the embedding right here. And then let's make an action here. Remember, for area embedding, you cannot put groups. So don't let's call these setups. Of course, we are in library center, so it will always be setup for the library. Let's format. Then let's have roles in basic suite, and then we can have our run object to be page of library setups. So, and then we can publish. So it has published, and then you can see under the actions area embedding, we have setups right here. When you click, it opens for you a page which has one field, and it has to be a table relation. So we can just click create. It has created the first record, which is 0. We can always use that only one record with several fields. So we can have our, remember what we did in number series. So we can have our patron numbers. It's right there. So we are done creating a table and a page, and also a table relation, so that we have our setup linking to the number series, and then so the next thing we need to do is to ensure that our patron table can now insert the record, the primary key, this patron ID automatically. So for goodness sake, okay, let me just keep it that way. And then we can go to our trigger on insert. We want to insert these numbers when we are creating a new record. So right here, we can have our variables right here, maybe library setup. Then we can have a record for library setup for that variable. And then Microsoft has done some loads work and created for us a number series which can help us initialize number series, which is known as number series management. So this code unit, it's created by maintained and created by Microsoft. It will help us to create the new record automatically. So we can check first if the patron number ID is equals to blank. Then begin what? We can begin to insert. Before we insert, what we need to do is we need to get the record in the library management system. Since it's one record, it will always get the record. And then so that when we specify the record that we want, it will be able to get for us that exact record. And the record that we want from this variable is, when you hover around, you can see we want this one, the patron number. Remember the patron number that we had picked from the number series, right? So that's what we are going to do. And right here, we can use a procedure inside this code unit number series management system. It's called init number series. So it takes around 5. Yeah, we can move around and see. It takes around 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 5 parameters. And so we'll give the first parameter as a record, as a field from this table, which is library management system, but patron, because that's the number we want. Then if you overrun, it explains for you. It tells you what it's like a default number series code. And then we just want it to take the last number series code from the same record, the patron number series patron setup, a library setup. It will take the patron field, and then we need to take the date, work date, at that particular time of insertion. And then we need to take the field that we want to insert. We want to insert it into the patron ID. And then the final one will be the new number series code. Our new number series code will pick it from right here. So it's my belief that it will initialize this number, but we are going to test. So let's test and see what happens when we insert on publishing. We're going to try to insert a new pattern and see if it will help us. You see the number series, if it help us. So I'm going to create a new number series. I'll just not do anything at patron ID. I expect it to auto create. So let's see if we can try to put the first name so that we see if it does what it needs to do. It's not possible to assign numbers automatically. If you want the program to assign numbers automatically, please activate number series in number series PTR. So this code, we have not activated the default number series because what it's trying to do, it's good that we forgot that. But when you look at this procedure, it has a default number series. See this one here. It gets from this record, and it has been related to the number series table. So we're going to go to the front end, I mean the client, and then go to number series. And then in our number series code, PTR, I mean that error message also, it was so explicit that we can just go to the PTR patron, and then we need to enable this default. These are checkbooks right there. I'm sorry I forgot, but at least you've learned so that you don't do that. So we'll just try again. We don't have to publish anything since we are in the client side. And so we'll just try to create another one. Let's see. Yeah. Did you see that? PTR001. Where did it come from? It came from our setup. Let me just take you there, right there. Number series. Then it came right here. Since we had created some of this. You can see this is the starting number. It took this one, and then the last used number is that number right here that we just created, and then the date is in 25th January. Don't worry, we are doing these things in the future. It's 2024. I don't know which year you are in, but it's 2024. Anyway, never mind. It's something to do with the licenses issues. So when you don't have a proper license, you'll be taken to the future by Microsoft thanks to that. So automatically this is a test number series. Then we can give a random number for the number. We don't need the email since we don't have enough validation. So we have for record right here. I'm going to create a new one just to be sure. Just to be sure that that one created it right there. It's just sure. So we have this record as our patron. So viewers, that's it on table relation. We can still do much in trigger on insert as I mentioned earlier, and I will introduce many other features that you might want to use in trigger on insert as we go. But what is important here is test field, which will help us to know if some setups has been done. Let's say we have a test field for we have a record library management library setup. dot test field. Sorry, what am I even doing? I'm getting lazy right here. So test field, and then I want to test field. Which field do we want to check if it has a value? So if it has a value, it will not return anything. But if it doesn't have, then it will return an error. So it's like a Boolean thing. So we want to check the patron number. So this will automatically give you an error. I don't know. Let me just demonstrate. That's great. It has published successful. So I want to demonstrate something right here in the setups. I'm going to delete what we already have right here. I'm going to delete that so that we don't have anything. Yeah, you can see it's blank for patron number. And then what I'm going to test is what happens after we introduce this line, this one. Let's see. Let's try to insert a new patron. Yeah, we can use the action right there. Yeah, patron numbers must have a value in library setup. Yes, a primary key is 0. So that point is right there where we are coming from. Right here in the setups. This is 0. Primary key for this record is 0. And then we can edit and then bring back the glory so that we don't get into trouble trying to do something illegal in AL. So it's right there. So if we try to insert, then it works. Pop, you have your third record inserted. Again, your third record. So thanks to number series, we don't have to label ourselves trying to create IDs and other values. We'll just be calling these numbers. And so we don't need this ID, this field to be editable. So we can just do some justice right there and then make it editable. False. It's a field property that will disable editing of any kind. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Keep watching, keep following the episodes for the library management system for more and amazing content on the AL programming. And I promise you're going to get better day by day.